Ellerbe says Terence Crawford is holding up Boots Ennis and the Errol Spence Jr. rematch. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red. But let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, Leonard Ellerbe recently had an interview, and he was asked about the things going on surrounding the Errol Spence Terence Crawford rematch, but also he spoke about what's going on with title shots at 147 pounds. I just wanted to give my 882 nickels on what Ellerbe had to say and break it down for anybody listening.
Terence Crawford, as a fan, I want to see him fight Boots. That's the fight that I want to see. Everybody deserves an opportunity. Terence had to get an opportunity. If EJ ain't step up and say X, Y, and Z, that fight wouldn't happen. That fight happened because of Errol Spence, not because of Terence Crawford. So let's be clear on that, But Terence Crawford is a terrific fighter, but I would like to see him give Boots an opportunity.
Alright, y'all, so what did Leonard Ellerbe have to say? Well, he basically said that when it comes to 147 pounds, that guys deserve their shots. Terence Crawford got his shot. He got given a gift, if you ask me, by top-ranking Bob Arum when it came to that Jeff Horn fight, him getting that WBO title that they basically stole from Manny Pacquiao. But he said that you got given an opportunity. Don't be selfish. Give these other guys their opportunities as well.
But let's do a little flip, huh? What round do you think I'm going to knock you out in?
And I think that's all and fair. Number one, because Terence Crawford was making it seem like he was all too ready to leave 147 anyway. So I don't understand why he's going to hold on to those titles for so long. Now, if y'all go back and watch my videos that I put out before the Errol Spence Terence Crawford fight actually happened, I spoke a lot about what are both of these guys going to do once they actually become undisputed because of all the mandatories, and then both guys basically say they can't make the weight comfortably anymore. Well, Terence Crawford said he can make it, but he doesn't like making it. Errol Spence said he can't make the weight no more.
Hey, let's give the people a little preview, huh? Open-handed. I want to see how fast y'all anyway. What you got? How you bringing it? That's how you move? Put your guard up now. I'm pretty fast now. Come.
So I was wondering, what are both of these guys going to do when it comes to those titles? Are they going to hold on to them? Are they going to hold on to them until the rematch happens and just allow themselves to be stripped one by one? Are they going to actually campaign at 147? And it's seeming like Terence Crawford is basically bowing out of the 147-pound division because every big fight that could actually be made for him at 147, he done already told them guys he's not fighting them. None of them. When it comes to Keith Thurman, when it comes to Danny Garcia, which I don't understand why his name was getting mentioned at all. The only real names that should have been mentioned was Jaron Ennis, Keith Thurman, Stanionis, and there's another name, but I can never remember it. I think one of those guys, Virgil Ortiz, I think actually has already moved to 154 pounds, so I guess his name's kind of out of the hat. But, those are the real 147-pound fights that could be made that could actually make him a little bit of money. Now, none of those fights, besides Boots, I think Boots is a toss-up. I think Boots' name has become a little bigger now, and I think if they actually did fight, it would sell better than what people are giving that fight credit for based off of both of those guys' names. Now, it's not going to do as good as an Errol Spence rematch, but it definitely would do some pretty good numbers, maybe about 200 to 300,000 buys on pay-per-view, which is average for Terence Crawford anyways.
What does happen is if you don't prepare for it, once you do start making money, if you do not protect it, the people that you love, the people that you have helped the most, the people that are the closest to you are the people that come for your money. My biggest enemy have been the closest people to me, the people that I've made children with.
To me, I just feel like it's kind of petty that he's not making a decision already, at least when it comes to the IBF. Like, either you're going to give Boots a shot or are you going to take the Errol Spence rematch? And now he's like holding up the Errol Spence rematch as well because he wants more money, because he feels like he's the A side this time, which absolutely makes no sense. Nobody's arguing that because you got all the belts, but the problem is you signed a rematch clause in the original fight contract. Both of y'all signed a rematch clause. So however it went, it was going to be a rematch. Either way it went. If Errol won, Crawford was going to get a rematch. If Crawford won, which he did, Errol was going to get a rematch. So I don't understand why now he wants to renegotiate. But here's the thing I believe that's going on, and why I think that Terence Crawford is actually stalling both sides.
You see, raising a boy is like fixing a radiator. You don't talk it into working right. You have to take it out back and flush it clean.
When it comes to 147 pounds, I think he's stalling because he's finding out what Errol Spence already knew, and why Errol Spence kind of spoke up before they actually fought. And the reason I feel like Errol Spence didn't really care about losing those titles is that he's paying 12% every time he fights. Now imagine how much money that is. Let's say, the original fight, let's say they both were getting $20 million, which they got. Now take 12% off of that $20 million. Do the math and see how much he's actually losing just to the sanctioning bodies for fighting a title fight.
Take away my money.
So I think he's finding out now what Errol Spence already knew, and I think this is the reason why Errol Spence had so much time elapse in between fighting those title fights. Now, some of it was it couldn't have been avoided because of the car accident, but some of it was by his own accord. He was doing it on purpose because he didn't want to pay what he was paying, basically 9%, for making those championship fights. So I think Terence Crawford is now finding out what Errol Spence already knew about holding on to all those titles. It's very costly to your pockets and your purse.
When you understand the problems of the people, it's because they were your problem. And you don't forget the problems that you had and the people that helped you get out of that.
So I think that's the reason why Terence Crawford is basically avoiding trying to take a Jaron Boots Ennis fight or any other fight at 147, because the problem he's going to run into is this. Those fights are not worth $20 million. Again, those fights are not worth $20 million. So let's just say he would be offered $10 million to fight Boots.
Money being made around here. Bang! Big old cars, rain, rubber, diamonds, and rings. If you like that kind of thing, money being made around here.
Take 12% out of $10 million, and he's basically back to making what he was making with Bob Earl again. So it really doesn't make sense to him or his team, I'm sure, to make a Jaron Boots Ennis fight or a Keith Thurman fight or a Stanionis fight, because outside of Keith Thurman, maybe Boots sells a little better than Thurman, but Thurman's going to make you the most money. Boots is going to be second. Stanionis not going to make you any money at all, really. So it's a problem for Terence Crawford when it comes to sanctioning fees. I think when it comes to 147, when it comes to the Errol Spence rematch, I think it's a little different. I think the reason he's stalling that out is I think he realizes now that that wasn't the real Errol Spence, that Errol Spence most likely was weight drained, and there's a real possibility that that second fight's not going to go the way the first fight went.
Crawford and Spence again, too. What we've seen is not worthy based on what we've seen, but I believe it's worthy to honor the contract, because we wouldn't be talking about this if Spence didn't give him the opportunity to prove how great Crawford has been telling us. So give the man a chance. Yes, there's always a difference in fights where it can easily be three. Something always could be a problem that caused the problem in that ring for Spence.
Any good showing by Errol Spence in that second fight is going to really stall Terence Crawford's career, because if Errol Spence comes back and let's just say he loses a controversial fight, by half a point or a split decision or something like that, then Terence Crawford has to most likely have a trilogy with Errol Spence, and that's going to hold him up even more. So I think he's to the point to where he's trying any and everything to get out of that contract. which I don't think he's going to be able to do without paying a whole lot of money. If Terence Crawford loses to Errol Spence in the second fight, it's pretty much over for Crawford. He's already not being acknowledged as, one of the best in the world because of how he acted before the fight, how long it took to make the fight. Now he's playing diva again after the fight is over with, and with the 147 division. People don't want to work with him because, like Bob Arum said, he's extremely hard to work with. So I think Terence Crawford's already shot himself in the foot, being difficult to work with. And now that he has all the belts, he's shot himself in the foot and didn't realize it because of all the sanctioning fees that he's going to have to pay and him not being as popular as a Errol Spence. So any fight really that he gets into at 147 is not going to be worth anywhere near what the Spence fight was worth. And he's going to have to pay the 12% in sanctioning fees. So he's pretty much screwed on both sides of the fence. His only way out of this is if he stalls the Errol Spence fight and finds a way to get a lower level David Benavidez style fight in the meantime without getting sued by PBC and Errol Spence.
I know the art of fight. I know the art of war. That's all I ever studied. That's why I'm so feared. That's why they feared me when I was in the ring, because that's all I was an annihilator. That's all I was born for. I'm working on being the art of humbleness. The reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. Because sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because if he comes out, hell is coming with him.
Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. That like button for me. Share, subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. But you're more than likely to get a response on the tube. So holler at me over there. If you want to collab or feature a product or your channel on my channel, feel free to hit my Gmail, because it is a flock of cards at gmail.com. We are mad.
Yo, I pull up in a throwback car, gray 7-8 with the top that's hard. I'm finna plane it back, send it on black tires. Fuck a backseat, it got its own backyard. Niggas act hard, try to put a Mac card. Stunt in front of they dame, they playing back far. Cause they get their ass kicked in front of their chick. And the niggas that they was with dip, ain't that a bitch? Young keys flow under the weather. Come through something real big under the leather. Lil' mama, get your mind out the gutter. I'm talking about that 9, motherfucker. I grind like a hustler. CDs, tapes, the weed, whatever the case may be. I chase that cheese and never ever face defeat. Now watch how I lace that beat. Here we go. Niggas know what's up. Sick flow, sick beats, finna blow us up. Thick hoes, thick freaks, finna blow us up. Hit drone, hit sweets, niggas know what's up.
Can't hold me down.
Niggas know what's up.
My dick is down.
Niggas know what's up.
Can't hold me down.
Niggas know what's up.
My dick is down.
I pull up with a throwback dime. She says she's 25, she at least 29. But man, them hips on her, lips on her, finna let it rip on her, flip on her, then dip on her. This is for them classy chicks, them undercover nasty chicks, them trashy chicks, ain't scared to flash me quick. Oh, look at that ass, she thick, I can't let you pass me, miss. Off the chain, young keys spitting hot flows off the brain. Holla at me when you're ready to get off the lanes. And on some real shit, I'm the one you deal with, feel me? Run game like Diddy in the marathon. Get shitty, drop 50 on the marijuana. Either give me 4 ducks or pearl swans. Young keys, S and I Don. Niggas know what's up. Sick flow, sick beats, finna blow us up. Thick hoes, thick freaks, finna blow us up. Hit drone, hit sweets, niggas know what's up.
Can't hold me down.
Niggas know what's up.
My dick is down.
Niggas know what's up.